find out who the best man is. I respect you for what you have done in the game, but you ain't never went up against me or my staff. So you remember something. We've been here before. You trying to get there.
Butt beat his ass. How though? How does that look? Outbox his ass. Just outboxing this shit. What about the weight though? It don't matter. Butt been fighting big people all their fucking life.
Is a pretty intelligent guy. He might not try to talk, and say different things that jump off the page at you, but he's not a stupid guy, man. He's intelligent.
At the press conference, Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, delivered a clear message to Canelo, stating that physical dimensions would prove irrelevant on fight night. He elaborated that Crawford has consistently confronted larger opponents throughout his career and invariably discovered methods to control them. Speaking with assurance and clarity, Bomac asserted that Alvarez faces significant problems because Crawford's technical abilities and psychological approach will determine the outcome when they enter the squared circle.
Matchup with Canelo. Butt beat his ass. How though? How does that look? Outbox his ass. Just outboxing this shit. What about the weight though? It don't matter. Butt been fighting big people all their fucking life. Yeah.
What about the head movement, Bomac? Canelo's feigned head movement.
That's what I'm there for. That's what Saul there for. That's what Red there for. You know what I'm saying? It's called coaches. Yeah. So we gonna get past that shit.
Bomac communicates with absolute conviction whenever discussing Terence Crawford's prospects in the forthcoming bout. He clarifies that this represents far more than just another boxing match. It constitutes an opportunity to establish Crawford as the planet's premier pound-for-pound combatant. Bomac underscores that Crawford has maintained relentless gym presence and eliminated any potential justifications. From his perspective, preparation distinguishes champions from ordinary fighters, and Crawford's dedication demonstrates why he operates at the sport's zenith. The declaration conveys not merely assurance but also the conviction that Crawford's fusion of technique and mentality will propel him through upcoming obstacles. The manner in which Bomac characterizes the confrontation extends beyond in-ring triumph to creating historical significance before global audiences.
Canelo Álvarez, Terence Crawford. How excited are you? Obviously, you've seen this journey with Terence, you've seen the doubters over the years, and he's now on the biggest stage again with people questioning him. And you obviously have full confidence that he's going to come out and get victory on September 30th.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely confident that he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team. So, the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There was many a time where he was maybe struggling to get certain fights, and then he had to almost kick that door down. Is it nice to see him sort of getting the fruits of his labour now and getting that generational wealth off the back of what is, obviously it's a hard career boxing, you don't get given anything.
Definitely that. Definitely good to see him get, like you say, fruits of his wealth. Get me fights that, again, will show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. Show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. I'm just happy for him, man.
Rumors regarding Canelo Álvarez experiencing difficulties against Jaron Boots during sparring sessions generated substantial discussion within boxing circles. Ennis represents a fighter numerous supporters compare technically to Terence Crawford owing to his rapid footwork, precise counters, and polished defensive capabilities. If Alvarez allegedly struggled against a stylistically similar opponent in controlled sparring, the subsequent question becomes how considerably more challenging his task will become when confronting Crawford's authentic examination in an official contest. Sparring differs fundamentally from championship combat.
When we saw that he's in camp with him, right? And so people are saying now that they reached out to me and they're saying, well, Floyd Mayweather now has joined Terence Crawford's camp. Does that mean Floyd Mayweather doesn't like Jaron Boots? Floyd Mayweather went to Terence Crawford camp to give Terence Crawford advice on Canelo Álvarez. Well, one, Terence Crawford is not fighting Jaron Boots. That's number one. Number two, it's not shots at Jaron Boots if Floyd Mayweather was to go to Terence Crawford camp. Number three, I saw this clip that Fight Hype had put out. And it's an old clip of Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford at Shakur Stevenson's sparring session in Las Vegas. Shakur had called them all to be at that sparring session, okay? and Floyd Mayweather assisted. Now, Floyd Mayweather took on Canelo Álvarez September 14th of 2013. That was 12 years ago, okay? And so with that said, this one has nothing to do with the other. Floyd Mayweather, from what I'm being told from Terence Crawford's camp, that he has not went up to Colorado and helped Terence Crawford do anything. Okay, now I don't know if he's willing to or not. I don't know if Terence Crawford reached out to him or not. I don't know if they spoke on the phone or not. But, you know, it's when you saw Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather at the top-ranked gym watching Shakur Stevenson, and they had a conversation with Eddie Hearn. That's very, very old. Okay, that's very old. Now, Floyd Mayweather has stand pat on Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world currently right now as it stands.
Reacting to these sparring accounts, Vomac promptly dismissed parallels between Ennis and Crawford. He affirmed unequivocally that while Boots possesses talent, Crawford operates at a completely different echelon. According to his assessment, no training partner, regardless of skill level, can duplicate what Crawford delivers. His rationale maintains that Crawford integrates experience, adaptability, and mental acuity in manners difficult to replicate.
Oh, you saw him sparring with Boots. Give me your initial response.
That don't mean shit, man. That don't mean shit. That don't mean nothing, man. Boots ain't no Crawford.
That's right.
Yo, hey, like I said, that don't mean, all that shit don't mean nothing. That shit ain't gonna help him. He should have just got the last cab driver he just fought. Cause that shit ain't gonna, that don't mean nothing, man. All that shit don't mean nothing. You ain't no Bud Crawford. They don't have that mentality. Having that mentality and going upside your head at the same motherfucking time, shit, man. I don't give a fuck about all that shit, dog.
Analyst Ade Oladipo expressed apprehensions regarding Crawford's choice to substantially increase mass before the fight. He contended that boxing fundamentally concerns equilibrium between technique and power rather than pure size. Adding excessive weight too rapidly might potentially reduce a fighter's speed or disrupt his innate rhythm. Oladipo's concern centers on Crawford, typically fluid and rapid, possibly jeopardizing his primary benefits by artificially modifying his physique to match Alvarez's dimensions. While numerous enthusiasts applaud Crawford's readiness to advance in weight, Oladipo indicates the dangers of modifying what already makes him exceptional. This viewpoint demonstrates that the path to such a bout is complicated and even proper preparation can generate difficulties if not handled prudently.
Was too wiry. Crawford was the guy at 135 pounds that looked really skinny. Even at 140, go and watch his fights against, who's the one that I'm trying to think of his name now. The fight at 140, Julius Ndongo.
Oh yeah.
And where he's just skinny, he's like wiry, he's very much Tommy Hearns. Now,
oh, have you seen him? He's
now
massive.
He's jacked.
Man, he looks like huge. He's got to be north of 170.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah. Which there's a part of me that's like, dude, you don't need to be that big. Like, I don't think this is a strength for strength thing. I think this is a skill and speed thing. I don't know. I feel like if you're trying to sit on your punches to hurt Canelo, nobody hurts Canelo.
He's been hit by Callum Smith, Sergey Kovalev, Bivol.
Yeah.
Crawford ain't hurting.
Golovkin.
And Golovkin. Crawford ain't hurting him.
But Crawford knocks everyone out.
At 147 pounds. That when he at 154, did he knock out Ismail Madrimov?
No, he didn't put a dent in him, really.
Didn't put not even a little dent in him. Canelo Alvarez is not Ismail Madrimov.
Yeah, but okay, who is Canelo Alvarez now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, like who are we watching now? Because when I go back and watch the guy that fought Skull, everyone likes to dig out Skull. Sorry, one second. Canelo's got to do more. Canelo's output was the worst output I've ever seen of a unified champion. I'm not joking, the worst.
That fight.
Yeah.
He literally did. But my kind of thinking is all right, well, who is Canelo now? Well, in the nicest way, although he's been fighting good fighters, when's the last time he had a super fight?
Who?
Canelo. And that's when we see the real Canelo, when he has a super fight.
Okay, Bivol.
Yes, correct. He lost. But
yeah.
Bivol was significantly better at 175 pounds.
Okay.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
Crawford, similar in terms of they're both skillful.
Trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards provided a more measured perspective on the situation. He clarified that Crawford recognizes that Jaron Ennis sparred with Alvarez and that Ennis delivers genuine power. However, rather than allowing this to influence his psychology, Crawford utilizes this information as preparation component. Edwards emphasized that Crawford's self-belief remains steady despite external elements like training partners. For Crawford, the confrontation itself and the capacity to adjust in real time hold importance. Understanding that Ennis participated in Alvarez's camp might even function as incentive since it compels Crawford's team to consider that style during training. Edwards basically confirmed that Crawford excels in these conditions and that his psychological fortitude prevents him from being disturbed by his opponent's training collaborators.
That's why I said I'm not changing my percentage. It can make Canelo go up. It can make him lose his confidence or take a piece from him. And it can make Crawford say, okay, let me tell you something about Crawford, man. I watch Crawford. I will watch how he evolved throughout the years. I've been watching him. Me, Red, and Bomac been cool since way before Crawford hit the mainstream. Way before he hit the mainstream. And I watched him. Crawford is a pretty intelligent guy. He might not try to talk, and say different things that jump off the page at you, but he's not a stupid guy, man. He's intelligent. He know Boots is the real deal. No matter what all of the public say and everybody talking, he knows it. He knows Boots is the real deal. Crawford's little brother is Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson and Boots is super cool, and Shakur Stevenson was in the amateurs with Boots. Don't you think Shakur told Bud, yo, bro, I love you. You my big bro, but that kid nice, bro. You gonna have to be on your game to fuck with him. You don't think Shakur told Crawford that, and you don't think he respected his opinion? You don't think that Red and Bomac got eyes and they know Boots is special? You don't believe that? I don't care about all this talk on the internet because they may fight. So you can't be too complimentary of a guy that you may fight. But you don't think they know that? So by him bringing Boots in, that's probably going to take Bud to another level mentally. And that's where I think that Bud win this fight. I think he got a mental...
A frequent argument among supporters and analysts suggests Alvarez's size benefit will overwhelm Crawford. Alvarez advocates emphasize his potency in higher weight categories and doubt whether Crawford, who started his career at lightweight, can withstand the impact from a naturally larger adversary. The discussion centers on physicality versus technique. For Crawford skeptics, the size disparity creates a barrier that skill alone cannot surmount. They assert that eventually, natural physics prevails and Alvarez's powerful strikes might simply overpower Crawford. This outlook represents a significant segment of boxing enthusiasts who maintain that regardless of Crawford's talent level, advancing against such a potent fighter constitutes an insurmountable challenge.
Canelo versus Crawford, who you got?
I got Canelo winning. I think Canelo's gonna knock him out. But
I think Canelo's gonna hurt him.
I think he's just too powerful, man, too strong. I hope Terence Crawford does well and stuff, man, because I love the way he fights, and he's a hell of a fighter, and I respect him as well too. So I hope he puts up a good fight and everything. But at the end of the day, man, Canelo, if he catches you, dude, it's gonna knock you out.
Look, at the end of the day, I always say this: he took Golovkin's biggest hit, and he took Bivol' biggest hit. I don't think Crawford can knock him out.
I think Terence Crawford can knock Canelo out if he catches him, because with Gennady Golovkin hit harder, but he was a lot slower. Yeah. So when Canelo seen the punches coming, he's able to embrace. I think if Terence Crawford catches Canelo with a shot that he doesn't see coming, boom, then he could hurt him.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
An additional dimension to the discussion involves Alvarez's extensive elite-level experience. Analysts frequently emphasize that Alvarez has encountered virtually every conceivable style. From elusive technicians to aggressive brawlers to defensive experts, his record contains championship rounds under the most intense scrutiny. Beyond mere size and power, his acquaintance with major fights provides an atmosphere of poise few can equal. Experience often determines how a boxer manages difficulty, and Alvarez has demonstrated toughness throughout his career. Alvarez supporters argue this repository of knowledge combined with his natural might creates a distinctive test for anyone, including Crawford. The prevailing feeling suggests that while technique matters, experience in championship conditions can substantially shift the balance toward the Mexican superstar.
There's things about being in camp with Canelo, it's just it's just different. He's got speed, he's got velocity, he's got precision, he's got positioning, he's got power, and he's got just an incredible amount of experience. I think there's 10 fights that haven't been added to his record. So, and Bud, when Bud was fighting at 130 or 35, Canelo already was at 54. So there's definitely weight classes for.
Certain voices within boxing experience conflict about the matchup entirely. On one side, they respect Crawford for courageously pursuing excellence, but on the opposite side, they wonder whether this represents the appropriate opponent to display his legacy. The apprehension concerns not Crawford's capability, but the potential for an inequitable physical drawback that might eclipse his skills. They argue Crawford might have followed alternative paths to demonstrate his position among legends without confronting a considerably larger man. Still, despite these worries, there exists acknowledgement that this bout offers Crawford exceptional exposure and monetary compensation.
Okay. Man, another good segue. Let's talk about the real deal, though. Brian, questionable fighter. Some people always question certain things. That boy Canelo, that boy Crawford. Nobody questioning those two. How you feel about that fight coming up?
I'm questioning it. I'm not a fan of it.
Oh, what?
Big man, little man. I wish Crawford had some other opportunities to really solidify his greatness in a different way. Canelo, he's got Bivol, he's got Benavidez, he's got all these other legitimate 168, 175 pound guys that he can fight, for my opinion, to really help his namesake. And you're gonna go fight a little smaller guy. And that's nothing against Bud. Bud is as a talent as they come.
Really?
But you're talking about a guy that probably walks around at 180, 190 pounds. Bud is not a huge, massive guy.
Right.
I don't know if y'all can tell us what the hydration clause is. I'm not sure if you got that worked out. Probably not, because Canelo is obviously the A side. But I just think there's better fights for both of them to be had. I'm glad that Bud is going to get this payday. Very important. I hope he doesn't rob to the sunset after this one. But I'm really disappointed in Canelo because I felt like Canelo has a lot of other opportunities he could to really solidify himself as being a pound-for-pound great, and I think this is going to kind of, win or lose, is going to tarnish his reputation.
Really? Now, what if he takes this fight and then he rides off into the sunset with Benavidez?
Same thing.
Like that, same thing?
I mean, he's got to fight Benavidez. He's got to fight. He's got to fight Bivol again. He's got to fight with the up-and-coming 168, 165 to 175 pound guys.
Bomac characterized the fight not as a basic collision of size and strength, but as an intellectual contest. His analytical examination emphasizes the significance of what he terms the refined intricacies of boxing. Timing can counterbalance power and speed can compensate for size. For Bomac, Crawford's genius resides in his capacity to modify instant by instant, transforming him into an evolving enigma opponents cannot easily decipher. His renowned expression, "skills pay the bills," represents not merely a catchphrase but a philosophy defining Crawford's path. It reinforces the perspective that even though Alvarez brings experience and power, Crawford's command of the sport's nuanced elements provides him every opportunity to conquer the disadvantages.
We know where we need to be by the time we step in the ring. We got the doctors and the scientists and the nutritionists and everybody that's in camp that's going to do their part to get where we need to get.
How much more power does he have?
He got some thudding power up there, and we're just going to sustain it for 36 minutes.
Why do you believe you've got what it takes to come up 2 divisions?
I told the other guy, skills pays bills. You got to have skills, man, to be going up there to fight somebody like that, like a Canelo. And not only is his offense, he's got to have defense too. You know what I'm saying? So styles makes fights. Bud got the better skills, and he got the better mind too.
Do you think with the styles in mind, but also the weight in mind, he can get that job done based on he's just so much more excelling in the skills?
You know what? He gonna get the job done. I promise you that. He'll get the job done. Because Bud boxing IQ is off the charts. You know what I'm saying? Next to Canelo, I'm not taking nothing away from him, but Bud just a little bit better.
I can tell you fully believe in your fighter and he believes in himself too. There was a slight back and forth at the press conference there. That was just a battle of belief. Who believes they're better? Obviously Terence believes he's better. Did you think Did you look into that? What happened at the press conference there as the first
That's
war
just
of words?
that's just press conference, man. You. The reason why I believe into my fighter is because from day one, the first day he walked in the gym to where we at now, we haven't lost yet. Okay. He got a loss. He got 2 losses.
How does that affect him coming into this fight?
One thing about this, always remember this. He got 2 losses, right? We got no losses. So we know what to do to take to get that win, right?
That concludes today's video. Stay tuned.